Coming up on Mountain News this morning, President Trump has signed a bill that requires the Justice Department to release files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And the First and Second Lady spoke with students about artificial intelligence. We'll tell you more.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Thursday, November 20th. The time is now 6 o'clock on the dot, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, again, I left this morning and it was comfortable. I did not have to put on my puffy coat and wrap up in a blanket. It wasn't too bad.
It was just perfect. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. A great start to your day, especially in terms of those temperatures. The only thing you need to be aware of as you're beginning off your Thursday morning is some of the fog out and about. Here's a look at that current visibility this morning. Seeing some of the dense, patchier fog as you're traveling more into our southern and southeastern counties, but everybody has a chance of seeing some patchy fog this morning, so keep that in mind as you're beginning your day. Thankfully, no rain is in store as you're beginning your morning off. We do have some rain chances returning into the forecast, especially for our southern counties as we're heading into the afternoon, with temperatures this morning very comfortable, mostly those low 50s. Neely.
Megan, thank you. In southern Kentucky, a semi-truck overturned on Interstate 75. Officials say it happened late Tuesday night at mile marker 26 and at one point shut down the interstate for several hours. When the semi overturned, it blocked all northbound lanes. All lanes have since reopened. The NTSB is releasing the findings of its investigation onto last year's deadly Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore. They say multiple power outages on the Dally led to the ship striking the bridge's southern pier, which then collapsed. 6 construction workers were killed. Officials found an electrical breaker on the ship tripped, causing the blackout. Investigators also found the bridge was not rated for impact with modern vessels. President Trump says he has made good on his promise to sign the bill calling for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Now the Department of Justice has 1 month to comply, though legal experts say a new investigation could lead to some delays. The president has called the Epstein scandal a hoax, but at the same time is trying to tie the deceased convicted sex offender to some high-profile Democrats. CBS News' Jared Till has more from New York.
The clock is ticking on the release of files related to the government's investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. One day after near unanimous House and Senate approval, late Wednesday, President Trump said he signed the bill requiring the DOJ to release documents within 30 days. In a lengthy post on social media, the president wrote, "This latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats."
I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, but you know who does have? Bill Clinton. Larry Summers.
President Trump has never been accused of or charged with any wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. Former President Bill Clinton also denies having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. And there's no evidence of illegal conduct by former Clinton Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. But this week, Summers did announce he's stepping back from teaching at Harvard University and resigning from OpenAI's board after the House released dozens of messages between him and Epstein. President Trump has directed the Justice Department to investigate links between prominent Democrats and the former financier.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
Former federal prosecutor Tom Dupree warns the investigation could halt the release of some documents.
The Attorney General does have the power to determine that certain documents, if released, would jeopardize an ongoing investigation.
We think every name should come out, everything.
Top congressional Democrats are pressing for the full, unredacted release of the files. Jared Hill, CBS News.
In a room full of investors at the Kennedy Center in Washington, President Trump touted hundreds of billions of dollars in the new deals with the United States. Wednesday, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia announced a partnership to expand the use of AI and build new AI infrastructures in both countries. And with the head of the NVIDIA computer chip company in the room, the president acknowledged a need for foreign workers to teach Americans how to make the chips.
My message to all of the leaders and investors with us today, and they are the best in the world, is very simple. Under the Trump administration, America is back and America is open for business.
The U.S. and Saudi Arabia are also boosting partnerships in more traditional industries, including oil and gas. In addition to the sale of military equipment, the U.S. designated Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally. A former FBI employee sued the Justice Department, the Attorney General, and FBI Director, hoping to get his job back. David Malinsky, who is gay, claims his long career ended abruptly over a pride flag he displayed at his workstation. After years of service with commendations, the Bureau told Malinsky that he was let go because of a, quote, an inappropriate display of political signage in his work area. Malinsky argues his firing accounts to discrimination. The FBI would not comment on the suit. Democratic lawmakers and anti-hunger advocates are demanding better policies to combat hunger in America. Washington correspondent Emma Wolfhurst has more from D.C.
Nearly half of respondents for Hunger Free America's 2025 hunger survey said in the last year it was much harder to afford food for their households. The group of Democratic representatives and senators Wednesday said this report fills an information gap created by the Trump administration limiting the USDA's annual U.S. household food security survey. In September, the USDA said it would terminate these reports, calling them, quote, redundant, costly, politicized, and extraneous studies that do nothing more than fearmonger, end quote. The new survey from the nonpartisan nonprofit group Hunger Free America found 81% of families earning between $75,000 and $100,000 annually faced higher costs of living in the past year. 64% also said it was harder for them to afford the amount and quality of food they needed.
Without the federal government, you're not going to have enough resources to actually feed the hungry people. It is an outrage that this president doesn't care. And we are in a country that we believe we should help the least among us.
It's not just the poorest people in our country, that everybody is struggling with the cost of food and the availability of benefits like SNAP.
These lawmakers blamed what they say are the Trump administration's repeated actions to limit food assistance and raise costs. They cite the president's big, beautiful bill that cut SNAP benefits by $186 billion and the administration's refusal to tap into USDA contingency funds to provide benefits during the government shutdown. Via the bill to reopen the federal government, SNAP is currently fully funded through fiscal year 2026. In Washington, Emma Wolfhurst.
First Lady Melania Trump and Yusha Vance, the Second Lady, visited personnel at the Camp Laverne Marine Corps Base in North Carolina yesterday. During their visit to the base, the First and Second Lady spoke with students about artificial intelligence and spent time with younger school children. Later, they addressed a gathering of service members and their families and wished everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Because you and military families are behind our nation's defense, and thank you for your service. My husband, the president, is sending best regards. We are both thinking of you, and you're in our thoughts and prayers for holidays every day, but especially for the holidays. And I see here you packed care packages for some of the loved ones, but for other service members. So thank you for that.
The First Lady wished the audience a happy Thanksgiving and said they would be welcome if they visit the White House. Former Vice President Dick Cheney will be laid to rest on Thursday. Cheney died earlier this month after battling pneumonia along with cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney served in the White House with President George W. Bush for 2 terms between 2001 and 2009. In recent years, he became a harsh critic of President Donald Trump, even voting for Democrat Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Former President Joe Biden is expected to attend the service. Ultra-processed foods may cause young adults to snack even when they're completely full. Researchers at Virginia Tech found people ages 18 to 21 are particularly vulnerable to the negative effects of ultra-processed foods. Snacking when you're not hungry is linked to weight gain, and recent studies predict 1 in 3 young Americans will be obese by the year 2050.
It's a little bit of a comfortable start to your day. Not too cold, not too warm, just those 50s out and about. And we are noticing some chillier temperatures for our more northern counties. 43 in Moorhead, 46 in Louisa and Staten. But that's about what you'd expect for this time of year, but warmer, as normally we sit in those upper 30s and low 40s. So keep that in mind. Not too bad of a start to your day to this afternoon, though. We are going to expect those temperatures to warm up, looking at some 50s and 60s out and about across the region. And as we head into the afternoon, we will notice some chances for rain and heavier rain chances. But for the most part, nice and clear this morning, just a little bit on the foggy side. Neely.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. The Clay County Senior Citizen Center hosted a celebration highlighting the center's dedication during the recent 6 weeks of uncertainty with no funding.